Hi, folks, and welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe trip, please stay seated at all times. Please make sure children and babies also stay seated on their bottom at all times too, either on a parent's lap or on the bench. Please keep your hands, arms, feet, legs, head, and loose articles inside of the train car. Parents, please supervise your children. Please make sure children stay seated away from the edges of the benches.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the Primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there, literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop.
Hi, folks. As we pull into New Orleans Square Station, we do kindly ask that you please continue to stay seated. As a reminder, this train station is out of service due to construction in the area. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to let anybody off or on the train here at New Orleans Square train station. Once again, please continue to stay seated, and we'll be on way here again in just a few minutes. Thank you.
That's usually his words, yeah.
Alrighty, folks, we should be on way here in just a few minutes. We're just waiting on the other train on the track to make their arrival call at Tomorrowland so that we're evenly and safely spaced apart. Please do continue to remain seated. We'll be here for just a few minutes. As a reminder, we do have a few show times today. At 3 o'clock p.m. and 5:30 p.m., stretching between the Main Street train station and up by It's a Small World, we do have our Magic Happens parade. Once again, that's at 3 o'clock p.m. and 5:30 p.m. At 9 o'clock p.m. and 10:30 p.m. this evening, we do have Fantasmic along the Rivers of America here at New Orleans Square, just down to the right along that river. Once again, that's at 9 p.m., 10:30 p.m. along the Rivers of America for Fantasmic, where you can dive into Mickey Mouse's dreams, nightmares, and wildest imagination on stage. And at 9:30 p.m., based on the winds high up in the sky, we do have our Together Forever, a Pixar Pals Celebration fireworks show. You can view that show by It's a Small World, down between the Main Street train station and the castle on Main Street, U.S.A., as well as directly after the 9 o'clock p.m. Fantasmic show along the Rivers of America area here at New Orleans Square. Also, don't forget, Mickey's Toontown and parts of Fantasyland closed to accommodate the fireworks show between 8 o'clock p.m. and 10 o'clock p.m. each evening. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance closes every night at 10 o'clock. With that, this is our last day in operation for a while for the Disneyland Railroad, so do get your rides in while you can. Alrighty folks, it does look like we're taking off water. These are genuine steam engine locomotives here on the Disneyland Railroad. Every other trip or so, we need to take on about 150 gallons of water. Once we do that, we'll be on way up to our next stop at Mickey's Toontown Depot. Should be just another few minutes, so please do stay seated. Thank you.
All aboard!
Alrighty folks, with that, let's get rolling.
What does he do for work?
For your safety, please stay seated at all times. Please make sure your children and babies are also fully seated on their bottom at all times too, either on a parent's lap or on the bench. Please keep your hands, arms, feet, legs, head, and loose articles inside of the train car. And parents, please supervise your children. Please make sure children and babies are seated away from the edges of the benches. Our next stop ahead is at Mickey's Toontown Depot. Your closest stop is Mickey's Toontown, Fantasyland, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Adventureland, Frontierland, and New Orleans Land.
Cuidado, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering the bayou, soon to be home to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Princess Tiana swears there's magic out here, and wherever there's magic, there's bound to be surprises. Blue skies and sunshine guaranteed. Speaking of surprises, this place we're passing over is chock full of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and other beloved critters on fun-filled adventures where anything can happen. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been...
Also, please do make sure your hands and arms and loose articles stay inside of the train and over the benches. Thank you.
by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of ear, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop,
the cookbook kid babies must be sitting on their butts at all times. Thank you.
The cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters.
Hi, pals. As we pull into Mickey's Toontown Depot, please stay seated until the train comes to a full stop, parked inside of the station, and is no longer rolling. This is your closest stop to Mickey's Toontown if you make a U-turn down the hill to your left, as well as Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, New Orleans Square, and Star Wars Galaxy Bend if you go straight down that hill and make a right at Seacup. Once again, please stay seated until the train is no longer rolling and we have come to a full stop. Thank you.